Let's get start demo first of cheap hotel management system in Blazor app with clean architecture. So here I have build a one application which we have a hotel list, and in this hotel list we have that now feature like we can add the hotel, we can edit the hotel, we can delete the hotel, we can view the hotels, and we have another features over here which is a room list. So which we can see the room availability list of that particular hotel. And we have another feature over here like the create a room, whatever room the particular hotel we can create it. And also we have that option we can book that particular room as well. And once I book, so also it will give in that information like okay, how many days is left for the particular rooms, and what are the rooms as booked or not, right? So everything actually we will implement over here. So let's see first how it's working now. So let me quickly add a new hotels. For example, I just want to add a new hotel over here. So the hotel would be whatever that lowest hotel name that we will add it over here, like model low cost. This is my cheap hotels in my country, and then we can edit that their descriptions when their address. And once I create, now see, once I create, you are able to see with this image, but this is a default image which I added over here. You can just use that logic bit bind that as well. So there's no issue. But yeah, what I need to do then, suppose I just add the new hotel, so I can just edit as well. So see, same hotels I'm getting with this informations, right? And then we can want to update something like okay, model low cost, and with the like suppose this one, right? And also state, suppose it is a UK or something, right? So then once I update, now see, now I have updated the hotel name as well their address. So this address also got updated. And now if I want to view this hotel, so once I click this view, now see, I'm able to see that view the hotels. Yeah, this image is not good for that particular hotel, but yeah, just show that the demonstration perspective, so you can just bind it as per your particular hotels. That also we can do that, there is no issue. But yeah, whatever the data that are also populated over here and looks wise is not good, but yeah, that is fine. But implementations and functionality wise it is working fine. So go back to hotels again, and then once you view, now if I want to delete, so there is a one options, delete option. So let me try to delete. Once I click the delete, you will get this confirmation over here. So are you sure want to delete? So yes, I if I want to no, so it will not happen anything. And once I try to delete and click on yes, so that has been delete, and also updated the data in this a nice grid, right? So also see, there's a many options in this grid like this per page item load on this over here. And also there is a one more options like what are the columns actually this particular grid you want to just show or not, right? So for example, I want to show the one column only, so you can just uncheck. So whatever columns you want to display or hide, so you can just directly handle over here. As well as there is a pagination concept as well here for this particular list, the grid. So that also is we can use it. Now go to that room list. So now see, I just created the new hotel which I just removed, but that is fine. But go to that room list now. Once you go to the room list, whatever the currently added that room on the particular hotel. So for example, see, this is that one hotel which have this particular room. This is another hotel which have that particular room along with the price and capacity, right? And now suppose for example I have to just create another room this particular hotel for this one. So once I click that create room, just choose that hotels, like see whatever hotels do you have in your system, that will appear over here. So what I need to do, simply I just selected that, for example this guy, and then room capacity would be 6 and room price would be 600, and then create this one. Now see, this new hotel, this new room has been created with this flag which is tells okay it is available, means I can book this hotel, right? This room, this particular hotel and this particular room. So once I click that create booking, so you're able to see this nice form which will tell okay when actually your check-in check out time and what is amount you have to pay, right? So suppose this is the check-in date for today's date, and checkout date, for example, as of now by default I add it on next date, but yeah, let me choose next 30 days, right? Means not 30 days, but yeah, next 30th June. and what is the paid amount, like for example 600, and booked. Once you booked, now you observe over here, see it is now booked. Also left 2 days is pending. After 2 days this room also will be available again. So like this actually we will implement here with using the clean architecture along with the Blazor. So let's get start implementation. So before implementation, I'm especially recommend, if you first time visit my channel, go to my channel which is not .NET real world example, and here one special, I'm especially recommend one session which is that clean architecture, right? So we actually we use now clean existing template of clean architecture and in build our as per own business requirement and requirement, right? So that's why I just build this guy. So same example I will use over here so that we can implement in our Blazor application, right? So you can just start from here, because if you not aware of that what is the clean architecture, so that is a good part to you can start from here. And also there is a many other section also we have just covered in clean architecture. So this is another one for from that starting. If you never use that clean architecture, so you can start from here as well. So once you get start over here, then you can just use this guy, and then you can start in your Blazor. And also if you don't know about that Blazor and all, so there's a many session I just covered in here. You can just search in the Blazor in my channel and see there's a many things of Blazor session over here. This complete Blazor server application with clean architecture already we have, and there is a many session actually complete on the Blazor. So you can just get started from the Blazor as well. So let's start. So I'll take the same example which we have already in our GitHub link, so you can choose is that one. So this is same example of the clean architecture template, so I will use this clean architecture template. So let me open this guy. So once your application got loaded, now see this is my clean architecture structure, right? So here we have a core section, we have that infrastructure section, we have the presentation layer which is now exclude that web API we have to use in last time, but this time we will use Blazor app, right? Same template we use, existing clean architecture templated, but we use the different UI, right? And also we have that test folder, right? So this is that very much known clean architecture over here. Like we have the core actually application layer and domain content layer they actually using inside this code layer, and then infrastructure, this is outer, this is inner, and this is outer, and that's it, right? So this is a very clean architecture, clean code and clean architecture. So let me start to implementation. So first of all what I need to do, I have to just create a new application, web application, so of the Blazor. So create new project and choose Blazor web app template, right? So I will use that web app template, choose this guy, next, and then I just put it name over here, like for example Blazor web app with the hotel or cheap hotel, right? Cheap hotel, and then simply create, and I'll just choose default things over here, for example whatever the framework. So as per that current template whatever actually I'm using, right? So I using .NET 8, so I will use same version over here, right? And also I'll just use this interactive mode as a server, and these are default things. Also will use interactive location is this per page component, right? And let me create. So once you create, now see your application got created over here, right? And let me start this application as a default startup, right? And start this application, see what we have as a default Blazor template, so that we can make sure actually our application is working fine, right? Then we will start our implement. Okay, now see we have our default Blazor template here. Now we have the counter application, counter, weathercast, right? So that is fine. Now we will go to start to implementation. So close that, and now start to implementation. So first what you need to do, see we have that our clean architecture, right? So there's a, this is that inner layer, this is the outer layer. So the dependency would be on our, here it is not directly dependency, it should be an indirect dependency on our application, and right? So that's why we have clean architecture. So what you need to do, simply you can just add the dependencies over here, and you have to choose these two things, right? One is that application, and then another is infrastructure layer. So let me add the difference over here. So this is first thing you have to add, and then you have to just configure, because we have in this inner and outer layer and the extension method which have already registered. Actually we have to register, so those things actually we have to register in our UI as well, right? So what I need to do, simply you have to go to the web application, means Blazor application, go to the program.cs file, and here you have to just register those extension method, right? So let me quickly add those extension method. So first I will just resolve the dependency of application layer. So this is a application layer extension method, right? Add application services, right, which you can see over here. This is that method, so which you just have to call over here. And also we have to bring the namespace. So let me bring the namespace. So if it is not available over here directly, you can just forcefully add that, using that, you can just bring back that using application extension, and you can resolve that uh, extension method, right? And similar we have to done for the infrastructure layer. So this is another extension method of that infrastructure layer. Same thing, we have to bring back that namespace. So I will use that using infrastructure extension. So now we are good to go to start, right? So once your extension registered, then one more thing you have to do, that inside in this, before that run application, actually we already has a seed data concept in over here in the infrastructure layer, that we have to call over here. So what is that method actually? So that method name is app dot create, yeah, this guy. So this is that extension method which will actually call that migration, because we are using ef core, right? So in ef core actually using in our infrastructure layer, so they will actually add migration, update migration, and update the data, and also they will add that some seed data as well. So that's why I'm especially recommend, you don't know about that clean architecture, so please watch my that session, so that will be help to you to understand what actually we are talking about, that if dbs exist or not, or why we are adding this kind of extension method and all, right? So yeah, that's fine, but yeah, this is that here we can just implement, so I'm not going to details. So yeah, once this configuration done, now we are good to go to start our uh, implementation and use this whatever our feature over here, like in this application layer. If you see this feature, we have that all that feature, right? Like we have that hotels, we have the bookings, we have the rooms. So those feature we will use in our here in the Blazor application. So inside this component, actually first I will just create some few components. So in this here we don't record this existing one, so what I will do, inside that add page, I will add a new folder, and let me call is first is hotel. So let me start from this hotel. So let me create a hotel folder, and here I have to just create a hotel list of that hotel. We can get that list of the hotel in this component. So let me create a list folder, means list component, and in this list component we will start our implementation. So first actually I will just add that directive of that route directive over here. So what would be my page directive over here? That is like hotel and the list, right? And then what I need to do, actually I have to call that method, right? That feature where I can get the data. So for this actually what I will do, I simply call a one method, which once we need to create a one method like this, load hotels. And in this load hotels I'll just call that that feature. So how we can call that feature of the clean architecture, application layer feature, without injecting that application layer, right? So how we can do that, that we can do in the way using that mediator r. So before calling that mediator r, we have to inject that mediator r over here. So let me actually inject that mediator r over here. So let me add over here as a mediator r, means I sender, and also we have to record that namespace. So bring back that namespace, and instead of specify over here, because this mediator required all over that component, right? So what I will do, simply I will just cut from here this namespace. I'll move it to in our global imported files, so that I'm not declare other other place as well, right? So it is sufficient once I just declare the namespace over here. I'm good to go to use that one for all our that application. So that is one. Now our mediator is the ready. Now here I will just call that method, means that method, right? So how we can do that? It's simple. Let me use that await and mediator r dot send method, and in this send method we have that uh, query class, right? So how we can get that query class? See, if you go to again this application layer, go to that hotels, go to that queries, we have that feature. So this is that features. We have this one, right? So this one actually have that get hotels query, so that we have to call over here new get hotel. Let me add this get hotel and then query, right? And then specify this, and once done, then we are good. And also we can just add as that configuration. Okay, let me first bring back that namespace. So see, this is that namespace, right? So first you have to just bring back that namespace, and here you can just specify as a false. That is not mandatory, but yeah, it is good to use this one, right? And then we are good to get that response over here. So I'll just add that response over here. For example, uh, where total list, right? So whatever response we'll get using this mediator or call, so see, it is returning that get hotel response, right? And once I get that response, now let me see what actually returning over here. So once I get over here, so see many actually property over here, like for example message over here, validation error over there, success over there, and also one more detail. So see, this is that main detail actually, that is returning the data of that hotel list, right? So those list actually we have to use over here, right? So before use, what I need to do, I have to just create one iQueryable list over here, so that I can assign that value over here. So once I assign this using this iQueryable list over here, and then we are assigning value like that directly in here. And then see, this is as a queryable list, right? So we have to just convert it to that to list to as queryable. So let me as queryable, and that's it, right? So now see how easy actually we can call our clean architecture features directly over here in our Blazor application using this one line, like using the mediator call the data, we can use it that list, and we can use this list in our application over here, right? This is very easy. And now we are getting the data, and once I get the data, what I will do, I will use that overload method, means that lifecycle hook method, right? So what is that I lifecycle hook method? On initialize initialize async method, and here simply I'll just call this method, so that once this component will load, so we can get the data. And also if it is async, so let me add that await async over here, and simply I can remove this guy, we don't require. Yeah, now see, our once a load component we are getting the data. Now this data I can bind in our HTML, right? So let me remove that. And for that HTML part, actually binding the data, there's a many way actually you can do that. So as of now I will use a quick grid, because that quick grid have many options, inbuilt options over here, so that's why I will use that. So for that, what I need to do, simply I have to add some package of that quick grid. So let me quickly add that quick grid. So quick grid, search from that, and this is that right package, right? So this one we have to use that, which is provided by Microsoft, and installed, apply, accept. And also one more package is required for that, that is called this icons, right? Because we have to use icons as well, so I will use this guy, and installed and apply. Okay, so once you're done, now go back to your list page over here, and here I will just find the data over here using that quick grid. So let me bring back that now HTML. Yeah, let me bring back that HTML over here. So I'm not writing that one, but yeah, I'll just simply back that design over here. So see, this is my design. I'll explain once I fix that issue. I'll explain. So some of that properties actually required. See, the show properties, this properties actually we required also. Designation properties also required, right? So let me just fix those ones first, and then we'll explain actually what we have. So let me add this three property which will require this designation and other two properties. So let me add here. So see, show name, show address, right? And this is that designation, and we have to just bring back that namespace, right? So this is that main namespace of that quick grid. So once you get that quick grid, also we will move this quick grid namespace from that our global import file, right? So that other place also we can use it. Don't need to define again and again. Okay, so now see what we have designed. So we just created then the top whatever columns we have to define over here as a checkbox. So once I checkbox, so that will be visible and hide, so that functionality we achieve using this design. Okay, and then we have another design over here which will actually based on the page, right? So how many record we have to load based on this paging nation, right? So that also be binding over here, and then here be using that quick grid, and then in this quick grid actually we have used this collection, total collection, right? Which will just returning and setting the data using this way, right? That we have added over here, and then these are that actually simple way we can say as a template column. So those are column actually we are trying to bind over here. I already explained actually quick grid, so I'm not going to very much detail, but yeah, I'll just show that. Okay, so as of now what I will do, simply just comment out that all the actions, right, that we will implement later. But yeah, as of now just keep that simple, and also remove this guy. Guy also we will implement once I will use the delete part. Okay, so now see our actually design also got ready, right? And also our data is here, right? So what I will do, I will try to run and see whatever data we are getting that is populated or not, right, in this quick grid. So let me run, but yeah, there is a one issue actually, so that I want to show you. So once you run, now see your application got running, that is fine, but still your component is not loaded, right? So where is your component? My component part is over here. I just add it as a hotel and then as a list. So once you add a hotel and list, now see you're getting that issue because it is saying value cannot be null, right? Why? Because I missed something, so that's why I want to show you, that's why I show you that exception. So let me close that. Actually what we have done, see in our infrastructure layer, actually we have registered one extension method, right? So if you go to this extension method in here, see it is expecting as a clean architecture, that guy means that connection string is required, right, from that your UI. So we have not defined in anywhere over here, so that I have to define in this application setting, and we have to define that connection string. So let me try to define over here our connection string. So quickly we'll just define over here, this is my connection string, and this is that same name which we have to use in our application. So same name you have to pass it over here, and you have to specify actually your local connection along with your DB name. So here I will use that Blazor clean architecture, Blazor, or let me add a Blazor demo clean architecture hotel DB, right? Save it now. And one more thing actually we have to add over here in the navigation. So go to that layout page, nav bar, so that by default I'm running, so that forcefully we have to route, right? So I don't want to route again and again. So what I will do, simply I'll just use existing one. Okay, I'll remove that one extra one, and here what is my route over here? So my route is actually hotel and then list, and what is that name of this navigation? So it is a hotel and list, right? And save it. And once I save it, now we are good to go to run this application. Let me run it. Now our application is running over here. And one more thing I will show you. Now see, once you run this application, you see the migration actually executed once you run their application. So see, all that because we already have defined in our clean architecture, once your application run, add migration, update migration will be happen automatically, right? So that's why I use that method, if create exist or not, right? So once you're done, now we click on that hotel list, and now see, we are getting that, the data, but we are getting the data, but the design is look like something uh, messy, right? That we will fix it, not an issue, but yeah, let me try to fix. So what I need to do fix, we have to just add some style, so that that whatever image that is not showing as a now full page, right? So what I need to do, simply stop that application, go to that list page over here, list component, right click on the add, and create a new component as like css component. And here I'll just create a component name. For example, what is my component name? It is a list, and then razor, and then css file. And once you see, once you create it, it is a child component on that particular component, right? So I can just add all that list, means all the design over here that we have already. So I'm not going to create again. So see, this is some additional design I just put for that grid, and as well as that you know image. So that image also we will handle using the design. So once you save, run this application, and see, application is running. Go to hotel list. Now you are able to see your particular image along with the their data. So this is the default data which we have, along with the see, all that functionality is also it's not working, but yeah, we'll check it why it's not working. So as of now it is fine, right? So let me start other implementation. For example, list binding is completed. Now start to create a new hotel, and edit and delete as well, right? So let me close that. Now start from that, creating a new hotels. So for that, creating a new hotel, what I need to do, simply I just create another component. Let me create a new component not create actually, this is a reusable component which will use that create and update as well, right? So what I will do, I will use this is the add and edit user component, and here we will actually implement over here. So first, what I need to do, I have to just simply add a page directory over here, right? So as a route, so we are specify it is a hotel, and then it will add and edit, and then if it will expected accepted hotel id, right? It's because if it is edit, so that time we require that hotel id. If it is newly, so that time we don't require. So right, like that actually we will design this component. Okay, and then we have to design one one HTML, right? So that I will create a form. But yeah, before create a form, we actually create a variable that we will bind. So see, this is hotel DTO. We have to trying to bind in this here. So let me create a hotel variable over here. And once you create the hotel variable, let me quickly create a design of that create hotel and update hotel, right? So see, I'm just using this edit form, and in this edit form I'll just bind the data name and address, and also we'll just use this hotel id. Based on this, actually if it is greater than 0, so it is update, or it is newly, right? So based on this, actually we have to just use it. And also we have to create this update hotel method, right? So let me quickly create that update hotel, so that uh, we can just implement as well. So let me create first here. So that guy, okay. So in here, what I can do, I can simply first I'll just add the property like which will store the it is success or fail. So what I will do, let me create a one conditions. So in this condition, I'll check if it is greater than 0, right? Means that whatever hotel id, okay. So let me create this hotel id as a parameter, the navigation parameter, right? So once we have to decide over here as a parameter, which will get it over as a hotel ID. If it is hotel ID is greater than 0, that means it is update, and else it is a newly created. Right? So like this way we can implement. Let me create again. I have to just call that mediator r, right? So see, the mediator r again I will call to send method, and this is that feature where I can just pass this command, create hotel command, which will insert it into db for new hotels, right? So for that also we have to record this mediator r, injected this mediator r. Let me quickly import that mediator r and along with the navigation. So here I will add that mediator r. So see, this is mediator r and navigation as well. So using that mediator r, I will call this create command and that bring the namespace. See, this is create hotel command, which I am just getting from in our here application layer. If you go to that command, you will get that create hotel. See, this is that one create hotel command, right? So if you use this guy and then pass it to your hotels dto, whatever hotel we are getting from this form, so that will pass, it will just create over here in this db, right? And so once you get, so what I will do simply, I'll just update whatever the status over here. So whatever status response we ever have, we just set it over here. And finally what I will check over here, if it is success, so it will go to in this here. So like that actually we can just check it. Okay, if it is success, then we have to navigate. If it is not success, so then we don't need to navigate this particular list, right? So this is completed. As of now we have some error, but yeah, that will fix it. So this is creation done, right? Newly hotel will create like that. And then also we, if it is existing one, then also we have to call that existing one. So what is that existing one method over here? So again go to over here. So see, update hotel, right? In this update hotel we have to call this update hotel command, right? Similar, I have to just call that mediator all function and pass it to over here as a update command and bring back that namespace. And this same have to just using that id, what is that hotel id, and along with the data. Based on the data we will get that response, yeah, it is update or not, and we can set it over here. Now see, error has been gone. Now our update hotel method is completed, and that I can call to over here over this onValid submission method, right? So once it's done, now our this part is done. Now few things actually we have to do over here, like load data, because we are using that edit functionality as well. So once I click the edit, so definitely I require the data. That data also we need to bind over here, right? So for that, what I need to do, I have to just create a method, right? Other method where we can get the data, like load hotels, right? Load hotels, uh, y hotel id, right? So I have to get the hotel by the hotel id. So what I need to do, simply again using the mediator r and using this get hotel query by query, and just use this guy and passes that hotel id, whatever hotel id we have. And once I get, simply I just use this hotel assigned to our this hotel detail, right? Once you done, now we are good to go to find the data over here, right? That's also done. And the finally what I can do on that unload, we can call this method, or yeah, there's a two way actually we can call it, but yeah, as of now I will use that another way, that is called parameter set. So I will use another lifecycle hook method over here on parameter set async method, right? And in this async method, simply have to call this load hotel method. So let me call, so that once I parameter set, so this method will call and we can use it further, right? So this is done, and also we can use as a task. So that is done, right? So that means our add edit functionality also is done. Now we can call from that our index page, means our list page. So go to again to list page and quickly just create a that, you know uh, that button, right? So that I can click on that button and I can just use it, right? So let me create this button, and also just using some style over here, like it is a hotel list, and also this is that create button, right? So let me change it to that name, create block to create hotel. And this method actually I have to just implement. Let me quickly create over here. So private void, because it is not returnable, and make it that method name. And here simply I have to just navigate to that page, right? So which page? This page. Simply I have to use the navigation, which I already have to inject it, right? So as of now, if not injected, yeah, this navigation part is not injected. So let me quickly inject over here the navigation, and yeah, like this way, and just simply inject. And once you inject, now we are good to go to that, like hotel, add and edit hotel. And so see, this is a create time, right? So create we don't require as a uh, the parameter, so by default I set it as 0, right? And then once it's done, now we are good to go to create a new hotel, right? And similar we can do for edit as well. So let me just open this edit functionality only. So let me uncomment this guy and save it over here. And this is a edit functionality. So let me quickly create a edit functionality as well, so that add edit, because add edit is a it is a common function, right? So similar I have to just create another function to edit call, and they also just simply get the id and then passes that as a parameter. That's it, right? So save it and build it, and now run it. And there is some error. Okay, let me fix that error. Okay, so it is saying some issue which is does not exist. Okay, so why? Because I have to use that namespace. So let me bring back that namespace, and same things I can do. Just remove from here and go to your main import file and put it over here, save it, and now build it. Now it is succeed, right? And run this application. Now application got running. Click on that hotel list. Now it is loaded with this this edit button as well as add hotels, right? So let me try a new hotels over here. Let me add, click that over here. Okay, now see, click is not working. Okay, so there is a one issue. Why? Because I'm using this server rendering component, but I have not defined actually. So what I need to do, so I'll just create a new component, right? So in here actually I have to tell, okay, what kind of is component render mode, right? So that I have to define over here. So like that actually I have to define, like for example, this is render mode and it's a interactive render mode. There's a three type of render mode, but yeah, as of now I'm not going to details, but yeah, I have to use that server render mode so that I can just click that event is work, right? So let me run this application one more time. Application got running, and go to that list page and click on the add hotels. Now just add one hotels, for example this, and once I click that create, now see I'm getting some error, right? So this is saying something, but it is not related to over here. Actually we have to fix something, right? Actually I missed something, so that I'll show you. That's why I'm not fix it. So once you close this guy and go back to your component, that add edit component, because this component actually once I click that submit button, it is creating a problem, right? So why? Because see, this component I am using, but I'm not telling actually what kind of render mode actually I'm trying to use, right? So either there's a two way, you can use a globally or you can use the component level. So I'll just use as a component level. So I'll just have to use this guy, interactive one of server mode, right? So save it and run it, and let's see. So now application is running. Go back to a whole order list, click on the add paradise and something, for example this guy, and then create one. Now see, your newly got created with this your informations. And also if I want to edit something, for example paradise to something new one, right? And also this updated address. And once we update, now see, it's proper add and update is working perfectly, right? So once you're done, now actually we have to move it to another functionality that is actually view, right? And once you complete view, when then we will go to in our delete one. Okay, so let me close that. Now for view, what I need to do, simply I have to just create another component. So let me quickly create another component that is called is a details. Let me call to details ledger page, and in this details I have to implement the design as well as the functionality, right? So similar, I have to just use a variable of that hotel DTO, because I need to bind that hotel DTO over here. And then once you get, and also let me first set it over here as a route parameter, which will expect hotel ID, right, as a parameter. And then what I can do, simply I have to just design something over here. So let me design over here as HTML. So let me remove this guy, and this is a simple design, right? And the top we have that again backlist button over here, and this is the same thing. And then if it is hotel found, not found, so we'll show that message. And then default image also we are appearing over here. So let me update that image to that image, right? So this is that hotel image, so that I have to need to update over there, which I just miss in our uh, demo. So let me just fix this guy. Okay, so this is done. Save it, and then rest of things is same. Now what I need to do, simply I have to add that parameter. So let me quickly add that parameter variable, and we have to just call again that method on that on initialize method, right? Let me create a lifecycle hook over here. So what is my lifecycle hook method over here? Override and on initialize async, right? On initialize async method. And in this async method, I have to just call that features. So what is my feature over there? So this is my feature, right? So mediator are send get by query, and here we pass the ID. They will return the data of that particular hotel, right? Which if you want to see, you can see in this feature, for example, hotel get by ID, and this is that feature actually, this one. So this one actually we have to trying to use over here, and also we have to use those injection, right? So let me quickly define over here the injected that mediator R and navigation. And once it's done, now we are good to go. And also we have to use await, so async, and whatever the data we are getting, that we are getting and assigned to in our this hotel. That once I load this component, I can get, and also this bring that namespace, and just bring that line so that you can see easily. Okay, this is clean code, right? So just call that feature, get the data, and use it over here in the component. And what are the pending? Okay, so this component is this click event also pending. So let me quickly just create that I can navigate back to our main page, means our hotel list page. So save it. So that is also done. Now go back to the list page, go back to the list page, and here let me enable to that view. So this is, yeah, this is that view. So let me just comment out this guy and comment this guy, save it. And then also we have to just navigate, create that function that will navigate on that page, right? So let me add that function as well quickly. So the view page function is look like this similar edit function, right? Because we just navigate to that page, right? So this is my page, hotel details and ID. Whatever ID I'm getting, we passing this component and run this application. So now it's running. Go to that hotel list, click that. Yeah, so visible also. Once I click, now see it is here, but again there's the same problem, that image design problem, right? So that I have to just fix it. So close that, go back to list over here, details over here. Let me quickly create that design page as a component as well. So cs, and here I will use details dot razor dot css page, and in this here I'll just add some style over there. Okay, so this is some style. So once you run, now should expected as a result. So it is running. Go back, hotel list, click the view, refresh. Now we are good to go, right? Go back, click that back. Okay, see again same problem. Click is not working. Why? Because we missed something on this component, that render mode, right? So let me quickly copy the render mode, go back to details and specify over here, save it. And hot reload, I don't think so it is working or not, but yeah, let me try. No, not working hot reload. So run this application, got running, go back to list, click that view. Now back, yeah, back is working. Click other one, yeah, this is hotel 2, back. Now new one also is coding. That means functionality wise it's working fine, right? So this is also working. Now we have to achieve that delete one. So what I need to do, close that application, go back to again to hotel folder over here. Let me quickly create a uh, component for that delete one. So for delete one, what I need to do, I have to just create, one confirmation reusable component over here. So let me create a new component that is called delete confirmation. Okay, so for here I have to just create a component that is called delete confirmation. So delete confirmation component, and this will be actually reusable component, right? So what I will do, I'll just create some parameter over here so that we can expect it for that, right? So first parameter would be visible, so it should be visible and height based on that no property. And then other one also is a delete click event and cancel click event, because that component has to button, right? Yes and no confirmation. So those click event I have to create it, and then I have to just create a one method which will just invoke those method. Like if it I just click a delete button, so delete, we can invoke this event callback, right? Simply we can just create a like that, and then we have to design like what kind of design we require. So in here I simply based on that visible flag, right? So I'll just can check it over here. If it is visible, that only visible over here, right? And then also we just design something. Okay, it is a delete click and this cancel click, and that cancel click also they're missing. Let me quickly cancel click as well. Here that cancel click. So that cancel click also invoking, and delete click also invoke, right? And that is done. So once it's done, now we are good to go to use this delete confirmation in our main page or any other page, right? So go here, and after this div, I'll just put it over here, that 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 guy, right? Means that delete confirmation. So how we can call it? It's simple. Let me use let me call like that delete, delete confirmation. And here we have that attribute like a delete click, right? So as of now we don't have a delete click, but yeah, we'll create the delete click over here, in here delete, and then we have another event, click event. So also that will I have to just create cancel delete, right? Or just delete it, we can just create it. And then we have that visibility flag, means input, where we can define, okay, so when it will visible and when it will actually hide, right? That also we can just use it, like is delete a flag. So once you're done, now we are good, right? So this is our component. We use our component for confirmation. So once you're done, now these three things actually we have to create it. So let me quickly create first delete one. Okay, so in this delete, I have to just create a one method of delete. Go to down here. I have to just create over the delete over here. What I'm trying to do over here, simply nothing, just call to our feature of delete command feature, which we have in our clean architecture application layer. If you go to here, see, delete command handler. In this delete command handler, I'm just calling, passing the deleted data id, whatever id, and based on this it will delete from the database. And once you delete the database, that delete flag will be false, and then the load data and state got change, right? This is simple. And similar, we have to just specify that delete but is flag as well. So let me quickly uh, define over here as a delete flag, as well as that delete id. So see, I just using that is delete flag, which I just mentioned over here, right? And by default it's false. And then also I've just created a deleted id, which will I can get it uh, based on this click, right? So once I click this confirm button, means confirm button, so I'll just store this id, delete id, and then further once I this dialog box button click, so I can get this id and pass it to our uh, the delete command method, right? So let me quickly enable this delete command as well, right? And let me create this confirm button as well, this confirm event nothing, we just enable that, you know uh, that flag. So is delete id, whatever id we set it over here, and is delete is true, that means that component will be visible, right? So that is done. So also this is done, and it is pending, right? Cancel, cancel things also pending. Cancel thing nothing, just you have to set as, once I cancel means it should be false, right? Means whatever this is delete, it should be false. That's it, right? Save it. Now we are good to go to run this application for delete functionality as well. So run this application, go back to hotel list. Now see, and once I click the delete, now see, component is visible, but it is not right way, because it should be appearing on the top, right? So some design issue that will fix, but yeah, let me see that uh, functionality is working or not. So let me quickly know that is fine. But once I click this guy, and yes, see, this functionality is working fine, but the design issue, right? So let me quickly fix that design. So go to that component. Where is my component? This is my component, right? So here I have to add some design. So similar, I have to just create, same name of that, right? Means another css component. So let me create a css component over here, make it the name of that delete confirmation dot razor css file, right? And in the css file I have to just edit this style and this style, right? Just a style which will actually appearing that model on the top, that's it, right? So if you look into this, see, I'm just using this class, so I just adding the style accordingly, so that this now this is should appearing on the top any component. So let me run again and see in the action. Total list, click on the delete. Now see, it is perfectly working fine. Is no and delete. Once I yes, now it's got deleted, right? So now delete also is working fine. Okay, so that means hotel perspective it is working fine. Like we can manage hotel, add, update, delete everything. Now once I hotel create it, now I have to create that another feature, that is a room, like room, create a room and then also booking the room, right? So close that and just create a newly folder that is name is a room, so that whatever feature in the room I can just edit inside that room. Okay, so this is that room, and in this room first I'll just create a new component that is called list, right? Because whatever list of the rooms I can should visible over here, right? So I just created the list of room, and in this here again similar things we have to do what we have done for hotel list binding, right? We have to using that grid, and also I'm not going to details, but simply I'm just copy paste over here so that you can get idea how actually we are doing. So what I need to do, uh, I have to just create one property of that this guy, for that iQueryable room list availability, and we have to just create a one method which will return all that rooms, right? So let me quickly create a room method is load rooms, which will expected rooms, okay, name of that hotels. And if you see, this is get rooms availability query, right? So if you go to that our application layer, if you go to that room section, go to the queries, you will see this is that section, right, where I can get rooms availability query. So once I call this method, so it will return uh, the data. So I can call this guy, and also we'll use that mediator R. So let me quickly add that dependencies over here, like interactive mode server, also iSender, mediator, and then navigation, right? These three things actually important to every component. So that's why I added over here, and then we are good, like we are getting the data and also bind assign this guy. Now we are binding over here as a uh, this guy, right, as a grid. So let me add those design as well. So quickly add the design over here. So this is the design, quick grid design, and in this design we record the pagination, and yeah, only just pagination record. So let me quickly create that pagination property over here inside this code block and save it. Now see, pagination is there, right? And then once it's done, now we are good. And yeah, this create room also is missing, so let me quickly create room function over here so that we can create a room. And for this create room, actually nothing, we have to just require another component, so that we have to create it. So let me quickly down, and as of now we don't have a create room component, but don't worry about that, we'll create that create room as well. And now it is complaining something. Yeah, so here that booking, because this is it have a contain as a booking as well, right? So let me create this function as well. As of now we'll not implement, but yeah, simply I'll just call another function. This is called booking, and navigate to that booking component, right? Save it. Now see, it should be gone. Okay, after creating that booking function is still one issue. So what is the issue? See, so as of now this context does not contain the ID, so that's why it is actually complaining. So actually while creating this this clean architecture, actually I miss one feature, means not a feature, but I missed one property. So if I go to that a room and get the rooms, right? So where is the get rooms? Yeah, see here that rooms DTO, see we have missed that room ID, so that we have to just add it over here. So what I need to do, simply I can just add that room ID over here. Let me quickly add that room ID integer and ID. Only just we have to add that room ID, so that whatever rooms, we can get that ID, and based on that room ID we can update, delete, and whatever booking and all we can do that, right? So hotel ID, room ID along with room ID also required. So that we have to fix in this clean architecture, one line of that code, that adding inside that room DTO and room ID. So that is fine. Now go back to your list, right, and save it. Now see, error has gone because that id is available. So once you add it, now we are good to get the data and retrieve the data and bind the data over here. Let me quickly see. And also one more thing actually I'm missing over here, that route. So just add the route over here as a list, right? So let me quickly add that list so that I can get that call the component using the room list. And also we have to add in the navigation property. So go to that navigation, copy the navigation nav menu, and here simply instead of hotel we can use that room and the list, and also call it to room list. Save it and run it. Application got running, room list is over there. Click on that. Now see, there is no room because see, as of now hotel is there and room is not created, right? So we have to create a room. So let me quickly create a new component for room and implement as well, so that once I create a new room, that room list will be appearing over here, right? So close that and go to that room section folder over here. Let me create a new component that is called as a create, right? And in this create, what I will do, simply again same things we have to do that, right? So we require that room DTO because we are trying to create a new room, so we require a room DTO, and also bring back that feature of room DTO, right? And once you get it over here room DTO, then also we have to trying to bind some hotels, right, in this, because this room will be created based on the hotel, so we require hotels uh, data as well. So what I will do, I'll just create then hotel DTO using that iQueryable, right? And we have to just create one function which will return the data of that hotels. So let me quickly create a one method which is a hotel load hotels, and simply bring back that namespace, and simply I'm just call that get hotels query. We will get that result of the hotels and assigning back to in our hotels, right? And also we have to inject that uh, those property, right, like this guy means our stream rendering, and also we have to use as a interactive server mode, and also we require that injected property for that mediator R and as well as navigation, right? So once it's done, now see, our load hotels get the hotels, all the hotels, right? And once I get the hotels, we have to bind is a drop down, right? So that we will bind, and yeah, so that is done. Now what I will do, simply I have to just create one method, right, which will just create a uh, that hotel, that rooms particular hotel. What I will do, I'll just create this method, okay, and just bring back that new line and call that namespace. See, I'm just calling that create room command, right? So which will be available in here. So go to here room section, you will that see create room command, and this is that one. So you have to call this create room command, and once you create room command, you have to pass that room, whatever room DTO. See, this is the room DTO, you have to just pass it over here, and it will create an insert it in the database, and once you success, it will return to that room list, right? It is simple. Now we have to create a design. So design also is pretty much simple. We have to create a edit form over here. So let me quickly create edit form, and this is that edit form, and also we create a create method over here, and this is I'm actually trying to bind as a drop down. See, this is the drop down binding. Here we trying to get the hotels, right, which we have to here, and once I get these hotels, we're trying to bind as a for each loop over here, and also we have to capturing that capacity and pricing. And once I get it over, once I create submit button, this method will call, and it will submit it the data, and that is fine. And also that life cycle hook method need to call on this component that is missing. So let me quickly create that life cycle hook method. So this is initializing on initializing overload method, we have to call this load method, then save it, and we have to specify over here our route so that we can call it based on this, right? Save it. Now we are good to go and run it and see uh, in action. Now application is running. Go back to room list, create a room. Now our things over here, and also see now as of now we have a one hotel, so one hotel is over there. Let me quickly add another hotel, for example this guy, and ID is this guy. Now this is a two hotels, so go to room, create a new room. Now you will see this new hotel also is available, so let me create a new hotel, new room for this particular hotel. So this capacity is 6, this particular room, and price would be 600. And once I create, so it's got created, but it is not binding, right? So there is some issue in this binding, this grid, this component binding, right, in this list component binding. So what is that? Let me check it, close that, and go back to your list component. So once you go to list component, now see over here I just created this load rooms, right? So once you component rendering, the load rooms should call, but there is a no life cycle hook method. Actually I just missed that. So that life cycle hook method I have to just call it over here. For example, override override on initializing method, and in this on initialize method, simply I have to just call this method, and simply I just can pass it as of now null. But yeah, we can other feature also we can use, like if I pass that hotel name, based on the hotel name they can filter the list. So that is a later part we will do, but yeah, as of now let me fix that. Okay, so now see, this is done, and load rooms is there, and also we have to use this guy async await, save it, and we are good. Now if I run, so I should get that whatever we have added the data, right? So that should be rendering. So let me show you the list. Now see, the last time we have just created this room, so this room is creating along with this status, like it is available, we can we can booking, but that booking functionality is still not implement. But yeah, let me check it, create room is working or not again. So let me create a room for this hotel one, like for example it is 8 and 800, and just create. Once you create, now see I'm getting the data over here as well, right, along with all the features, right? So that means create room is working, and now we have to work this, create booking. So let me stop this application, and that final now feature we have to implement, that is called create booking, right? Let me create a then component that is called booking. So create a component, and name it to this component is booking. And this in this booking component, similar things we have to do that again. So let me first, these three things we required always, all the component, right? So let me bring back this interactive server mode, mediator R, and navigation, right? So let me bring back that guy, and then what I need to do over here, I have to just create uh, that booking DTO over here. So let me call that booking DTO, and that guy, this is a booking DTO, so that I can bind this form over here, right? And also parameter is required, because I required passing that room ID as a this component. So let me call this guy, this as a route parameter we required as a room ID. Let me add this page directory over here. So there's room, booking, and room ID. So this room ID, actually we can add it over here, get it over here, and we can use further. And here nothing we have to do special, but only just whatever booking, like based on the checking in, checking out, and pricing, paid amount, we have to just submit it and book that room, right? So simply what I will do, I have to just create a method. So book room, book room, I have to just call that feature. Which feature? That book room. So if you see, we already have that booking, and in this booking we have that create booking. I have to call this create booking command. So like that, as we have done previously, right? Similar, I have to do that. So using that mediator R function, call that, create booking command and passing that booking object, and that's it. So once you're done, simply I can based on the success, we can return back to the list, right? So that command also means this event got created. Now we can generate our design, right? That form I can design it. So let me quickly design that form. This is that form which we have to require to create. So this is my edit form, right? And we already just create room function, and this is that booking we have to binding over here. And it is nothing, we have just input data, means we can picking the data picker, which we allow to check in and checking out, and also that input number so that I can pay that data, right? So let me run. So before run, let me make sure this is booking booking is already created in our list, right? So in this list we have that booking. Yeah, so booking function, booking actually calling using over here, so that is fine. So let me run it. So our application got running, and go to that room list, and now once I click this guy, now we are getting some error, right? So why it's error? Because see, whatever model actually we are trying to over here, that is by default is null, right? So that's why actually it's getting error. So let me show you what is that error. So if you go back to our booking component, see, I just specify over here. See, by default, once you load this component, it is null, right? So once in null, it is trying to get this property, definitely it will not over there. So what I have to do, that we have to do just simply, we have to just create the instance of that. So we can just instead of that simply, and we are good to go. So run this application again and go back to here, click the list, room list, create booking. Now see, we are getting the data, means application or that page is got loaded, right? But here see, one issue, like see, it is just giving the default date, means whatever the mean date, right? So it is very hard to actually go to that, to as of now current date, right? So what I need to do for that, so close that application, go back to that over here. Here actually you have to just specify uh that date, right? So whatever date you want, you can just specify over here. For example, this, right? Here, checking date. What is my checking date? Checking date should be date time dot now. So current date would be over here, and checkout date would be date time dot now dot add days one. So that, because always booking for current date plus one date, right? Means plus one plus two plus three. But yeah, by default I'll check in over here. And one more thing actually missing over here, see, whatever room ID I'm just getting, right, as a is the parameter. So that I have to assign while we have to inserting the data, because as of now see, this command actually we have to require this booking DTO, right? And this booking DTO, we require all this property, like what is the checking date, what is the checking out date, what is the pay date, right? And which room ID which we have to trying to book, right? So that room ID we have to specify as well. So that what I need to do, that simply whatever our booking object, right? So simply I have to just add as a ID equal to room ID equal to room ID, right? So whatever our room ID, you can just specify over here, and that's it, right? So now let me run it and see, it should be work as expected. So application got running, go to that hotel list, it is working fine, room list, it is also working fine. And once I create a new booking, now see it is available. So once you create a booking, and now see this time we have that current date and plus one date, right? So what I will do, I'll just, whatever the current date is fine, that is fine. But yeah, in here what I will do, simply I'll just change to another one more date and just paid out. Okay, for example, 100 is paid it, book that. Now see, once I booked, so it is saying it is booked, as well as that left days is pending 1 days, right? So based on that calculation, you can just calculate it. I just calculate temporarily, but yeah, we can calculate more over here. So similar, what I can do, let me create a new room over here for particular this guy. And for example, for pricing 600 and create. Now see, this one, new one is available. And also we'll try to book this guy. So let me try to book this guy to uh let me more one more time, one more days. See, it is saying it is booked, and also it is 2 days, right? So now, like this way actually we can complete our hotel management system in Blazor using clean architecture, right? So this, that's all. But here actually you can learn many things. Like first things you can learn for this, this session, you can learn for how we can achieve, or how we can actually implement our uh, complete application, right? Like for example, how can bind the grid, uh, add all that component, how can create it, and insert, update, delete, all the performance. And also the child component call to parent component, how can call it that, right? For example, like this guy. So many things actually you can run it for this one. So it is a complete learning, so that you can learn everything from the Blazor, as well as also the clean architecture. That's all for this session. Thank you, have a nice day, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.